Hey everybody, it's Ken with AMN. It's a drive edition, Ken with AMN. My weekends have been crazy busy lately, and I was gonna sit down and make a video, and I'm like, well, I got time, I gotta drive to work, so I'm like, let's talk. I want to talk about actually a couple things. Well, not really. The first thing is, it's really a moot point, but I was listening to a song that popped up on YouTube, and it took me back. It took me back to like at the beginning of this AMN journey, specifically when I was going to physical therapy, which, again, at the end of the day, I thought that was a complete waste of my time at the beginning, and at the end, I thought it was one of the best things that happened to me at the time. But it was just going through the grind, going to work, I gotta come home, I gotta go to physical therapy, and then they billed me like $40 each time, and it just put me into debt to do this, and I was just like, this is lame, this is dumb, I'm still trying to figure out where the heck I'm going with this, and yeah. But I forget the specific song, but it just took me back, and like, I remember that, like, that was a shitty time. It was a shitty time, but again, at the end of the day, it was one of the best things that happened to me, because it actually helped me a lot. But yeah. And then the other thing, which again, this gets into like a below the belt, so if that's gonna be too much for you, you might want to turn off. And this has to do with, we'll just put it, the initial thought process behind this adventure was not to get an erection, but so I was reading online, specifically I started looking into nitric oxide, which basically opens up your blood, the blood flow. I think it's specifically, but a normal person's body will naturally produce nitric oxide, which increases blood flow in the penis. So I was reading into people specifically that it was helping bladder issues, because again, you're opening up your blood cells. So I bought a supplement at CVS, which ironically, this supplement was specifically targeted at basically, I think, more erections than anything. And I'm like, all right, what the heck? Let's try it. And be like, you never know. I'm like, pee better, get an erection, awesome. So I tried the nitric oxide and did not help me pee better, did not give me an erection, but it actually gave me a heck of a boost. It was more almost like a pre-workout med, a supplement. And I took the supplement in the morning when I got to work, and again, I have to walk up a flight of steps. I've never walked up that flight of steps so fast within the last 10 years, and it was just pretty wild. But other than that, that was all that I got. And that one time, I don't know if it was just the day, but I tried it again the next day, and so I actually ended up quitting that, because again, I never even got around to even telling my doctor that I was taking it, but it was just kind of a trial and error thing just to see what was happening. So then I was reading some of my other AMN men, good dudes, where I've actually had success with Cialis, Viagra, the boner pills. So I'm like, all right, you know what, let's try it. And like, the only thing that could potentially happen, it just doesn't work. So I went online, I think it was like GoodRx or one of those online, you can get a prescription without, they pretty much link you up with like a doctor. I think this was a physician's assistant, and you tell them everything, and then they'll prescribe you. So I got like seven, what is it, Tadalafil, or basically the generic version of Cialis. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, a week later, they showed up in the mail, and I actually noticed that, peeing was actually easier. And when I say that, specifically with alcohol, because again, we always talk about alcohol and peeing. We've already gone down that route. But so I'm like, all right, okay. I'm like, this does kind of work. Again, that basically does the same thing. It's opened up the blood flow, and And then it's like, oh, and then, you know, on the other hand of it, it actually, I mean, it's what it's supposed to do, be like, it gave me an erection. And, you know, and again, we could talk about erections. I mean, again, I don't sugarcoat thing on this channel, but probably since, I'm almost 41 here, coming up soon, probably since like 38, erections don't happen, morning wood doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen. You know, but even without an erection, you know, you can still get where you need to go. We're not going to totally go into details, but you know, it's been whatever. So oh boy, look who showed up, you know, it's erection time. And as suspected, with the nerve damage and the progression of AMN, you know, and the erect penis was no more enjoyable than it was previously. It was worse, you know. And I've heard people say that when they've taken those drugs, that it basically turns you into a human sex toy. In a way, kind of, if you're using it to satisfy a partner, but, you know, if you're attempting to satisfy yourself, I didn't really feel it made it any better, basically. And so, but even then, though, again, I've taken, I think, four of them. I've been taking like one a week. You know, they last for 36 hours, and there ain't wrong. And it's not like if you have it doesn't immediately give you an erection or anything like that. I'm like, you have to stimulate yourself to get the erection. So it doesn't, you're not stuck with a boner. It's worked for 36 hours. You don't have a boner for 36 hours, but it is there ready for you. That is true. So, but it did not make me walk up the steps quicker like nitric oxide did. But so again, it was, and even the past couple of weeks, as far as on the P front, I don't think that, I don't know, it helped a little bit, but you know, potentially it could be the next dose, like the dosage needs to go up, but if I decide to, I may go on and message the PA and just, you know, tell them that here's was my experience, and like, you know, I only took the bare minimum milligrams per day. I'm like, do you double it? You know, they say you got to be careful with it, so I'm like, you know, I'm not just gonna, you know, do I double it? Will I have a boner for full 36 hours? I don't know. But yeah, so fun. So, but it's experimenting. You see things, you read things, you're like, oh, maybe that'll help me. In the AMN world, I feel like a lot of people ask me about, oh, this, that. I'm like, try it. You never know. It may help you. And again, worst case, it does not help you, and we just go about our day. But so it's the joke on this YouTube channel. I always say about me and my floppy penis, you know, just to make light of the situation. But yeah, good times. But yeah, so I think that's really all I had to talk about, was just, you know, depressing old OG times, which all that's in the past and it's done and over with. And happy peeing and fake, we'll call it fake erections. Maybe that should be the title of this video. But anyway, I'm almost to work, so hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Keep them feet moving. Later.